First Lady Melania Trump's office is dismissing criticism that she and the president have conflicting messages about cyberbullying. Mrs. Trump spoke to social media companies, educators, and law enforcement yesterday at an event for her Be Best initiative. She urged them to take more steps to fight cyberbullying.
In today's global society, social media is an inevitable part of our children's daily lives. It can be used in many positive ways, but can also be destructive and harmful when used incorrectly.
55 minutes later, while the First Lady was still at that event, President Trump tweeted a series of personal attacks.
He called former CIA Director John Brennan the worst CIA director in our country's history. Then he questioned why Justice Department official Bruce Orr hasn't been fired. Earlier in the morning, the president said Robert Mueller's Russia investigation was led by, quote, angry Democrat thugs. Mrs. Trump's spokeswoman said in a statement, quote, she is well aware of the criticism, but that will not deter her from doing what she feels is right. The spokeswoman said the First Lady only has the best interests of children at heart. Mrs. Trump's office also announced yesterday she will take her first solo foreign trip this fall, visiting countries in Africa.
Dozens of South Koreans are in North Korea this week, reuniting with family members they've been separated from since the Korean War. The emotional and time-limited reunion is being held at a mountain resort north of the border between the two countries. Ben Tracy joins us from the South Korean capital of Seoul with more on this rare and happy event. Ben, good morning.
Good morning. It has now been 3 years since the last round of the reunions of separated families took place, and time is really running out for a lot of Koreans who are now in their 80s and their 90s. So this small group is now meeting their long-lost relatives for the first time in decades, but sadly they also know it will be the last time they meet.
This is what it looks like when a 92-year-old woman gets to hug her son for the first time in 68 years. He is now 71, and like everyone in this room, they were separated during the bloody Korean War, which split the peninsula in two in 1953. This brother and sister could not contain their emotion as they embraced for the first time in decades. This part in his face just looked like our father, said this North Korean woman. This week of reunions was one of the main agreements made by South Korean President Moon Jae-in and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un at their April summit. It's been a moment of relative stability on the Korean peninsula, even though there are no signs that North Korea has actually decided to abandon its nuclear weapons program. But for the people in this room, none of that matters. They are here to make up for lost time, learning how their relatives have spent their lives just a few hundred miles away. This 82-year-old from South Korea was reunited with her two sisters. I expected my sisters to be dead, but they are alive and well, she said. Many brought photographs of their extended families, even if it was sometimes difficult to recognize each other. Even if he's gotten old and has wrinkles on his face, there is still some of him left in his appearance, said Kim Young-sung after reuniting with his North Korean brother.
Now, there are thousands of other Koreans who have not been picked to participate in one of these reunions. Here in the South, they're actually chosen by a lottery, but in North Korea, it's believed that they're actually chosen for their loyalty to the authoritarian regime there. John?
Ben Tracy in Seoul, thanks. The images of them holding hands after such separation and not wanting to let go again.
A mother seeing her baby, even though he's 70-something years old. For the first time, that will always be your baby.
I know. I saw you crying.
I know.
Those tears coming.